I would like to invite Dr. Ammar Aldallal to give his talk titled Exploring DOM-Based Cross-Site Scripting. Dr. Ammar, please take the floor.
Ammar Rahim. So, welcome everybody. I'm going to present my work or my paper. This is a presentation exploring DOM document object module based cross-site attack. So I'm going to explain what's meant by cross-site scripting and what is meant by DOM and what is DOM cross-site scripting, and then I'll provide example and the conclusion. So as introduction, web application is very much familiar nowadays, and it is too much popular by users. And this allows or motivates hackers to commit cyber crimes such as cross-site scripting. In this cross-site scripting attack, the attacker will be able to steal the information of the web users, like sensitive information such as logins and session information. So cross-site scripting is one among the most important vulnerabilities that appears in the web applications according to the Open Web Application Security Project. It is in the third vulnerability position. This according to the 2012 list, while in 2017 it drops to the 7th position. We'll see now why. So first, let's start by defining what's meant by cross-site scripting. In cross-site scripting, the attacker will try to investigate and navigate to determine the vulnerability websites where he can attack these websites, and then he will inject this website or web application with a script that would allow him to steal the information from the user. Now, when any victim or any visitor to this website, once he download this website on his web page in his web browser, then this script will be executed on his machine. And by executing this script will steal the credential information from his computer, for example, from the cookies. And inside the script will direct these cookies to the victim machine so he can utilize this information. So this is the cross-site scripting. Now, cross-site scripting has three types, one of which is the non-persistent or reflected cross-site scripting, and we have the persistent cross-site scripting and the DOM-based cross-site scripting. In the non-persistent cross-site scripting, the script is not saved or stored on the server, but once the user log into the page, this script will be executed directly and then will send the data or this credential information directly to the hacker or attacker. While in the persistent, the attacker stores this script in the web server. For example, like the blogs or wherever we log in any websites and we write our comments, the attacker can include the script inside the comment. So when I display the comment again, this script will be downloaded to my machine and it will execute the script which will steal the information and direct it to the attacker. So this is the persistent. Now, let's talk about what do we mean by document object module, DOM. The DOM is the objects that are used by the HTML files or XML files to build the web page that we see on the browser. Like here, for example, so we have these elements like HTML, head, title, whatever. So these elements or the objects that are used to build the structure of the website or web page displayed on the client side. So in the DOM-based example, the outcome of DOM-based cross-site scripting is to steal the cookies of the user or it changed the behavior of the web page that displayed to the user internally. Although the interface is the same, but the internal behavior is being changed according to the script injected in this page. Now the attacker mainly attacks or targets these components, document.url or location or referee. Let's see this example that will explain how the DOM-based cross-site scripting works. This XML here is supposed to display the dashboard for the user, now according to this URL. So the user will log in, and this URL will take the login of the user and feed it into this script to display the dashboard for the user. So assume that this user is better, so it will display the main dashboard for a user, and this line will be displayed at the header of the page. Now, what the attacker does, he injects a script with the login. So he writes his login as better, and then he also injected with this script that will do some function. And normally this function is to steal the information from the cookies of the client. So, yes, so now, because this script is very clear, if we see these marks here, this greater than, so these tags normally used to identify that there is a malicious code inside the text injected into the URL. So normally the browsers are having some mechanics to disable the functionality of these special characters. So if this is applied, then the script will not do what is expected to do, means it will delete the effect of the script. However, the attacker may embed or encode the script inside this embedding function, like what we see here. So this is not clear what is doing inside. So maybe the attacker, or even you are a user, maybe cannot detect what's the behavior here. So to defend against DOM-based cross-site scripting, the programmers or developers need to take care about these special characters when passed to the web page builder or the browser, and also they have to do rewriting or redirecting or using a client-side data. Also, they have to inspect and securely handle references to document object-based objects such as URL and location, and referees need to be handled carefully inside the code or inside the web browser. Also using intrusion prevention systems, which are able to inspect inbound URL parameters and prevent the inappropriate pages to be served. Now, because it's difficult to defend or build this defending system in the server side, because these codes are not reaching to the server at all, but they are only done on the client side, means on your computer. So there is a solution from two parts, from the developer rule or from the web user rule. From the developer, they have to manually attempt to exploit them by exploring or defend or writing a code that take care of or handle this type of special characters, and also using automated tools that perform automatic penetration testing, again at this type of vulnerabilities, or using various payloads and monitoring points inside the code. So as a conclusion, this is just to give you an overview about this type of attack. So we need to be very aware when you are using the browsers. So from our side, as normal users, we can do two things. First is to make sure that our web browser is up to date, because as I mentioned earlier, this vulnerability jumps from the third most vulnerable attack to the seventh, because developers are still working on countermeasures for this attack. So we need to deploy the most recent or up-to-date explorers, Google Chrome or Internet Explorer and so on. And also not to visit any untrusted sites, because there's a code inside these sites who will take your credential and steal it from your cookies, as we explained earlier. Thank you very much.